Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Vina, a plant-based recipe developer and food photographer, and I have a what I eat in a day for you. And for those of you who have been wondering where I am or where I've been here. I've been around. I just haven't been turning the camera on. And so I am back officially. Whether I'm going to be back every single week is a different story. I'm kind of going back and forth between whether I'm going to be back once a week or once a month, but I'm going to figure it out. And so for now, I figured I'd come back kind of classically and give you guys a what I eat in a day, but a little bit different because I just recently turned 40. And so I am gonna kind of show you how I've been looking after myself in my 40s, which is so weird to say 40s, like with the plural, like I'm 40, but technically I am in my 40s. And I don't say that to like be all like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm 40 now and all of that. No, like I don't really look at getting older that way. I actually look at getting older as a gift, as a privilege, as something to be really excited about. And so I am like 6 full months in to being 40. I feel like in that whole time, you guys, like you saw me right before my birthday. We went to Seattle and then I disappeared for a little bit. And I don't really have a full explanation as to why. I think just life's, and that's what happens. But yeah, so I just realized I don't have any of my vitamins to take with my smoothie. So let me just grab all of that. We're keeping it simple today. I usually will take some iron too, but we're not doing that. So here, let's hook this on. I've got on like this very flimsy like top because I'm gonna go out for a walk soon. So it might be bouncing around. So I've just got my ritual vitamins. Let's see, there we go. I got my rituals, just a multivitamin. Later in the day, I will take my iron because I'm supposed to space them out. And where's my water? And then I have my Semaine kind of like hormone balancing because my hormones are trash. They're just trash. They've been trash for a very long time, and I do all kinds of things to try and keep myself kind of like balanced out as much as possible. All right, so yeah, so both of these I think I've been taking for, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years now. I kind of swear by them. I can tell the difference if I don't take them. So usually that's how I know that I should be taking it. And then I've just got my smoothie here. It's like this nice, deeply rich purple blueberry muffin kind of smoothie that I've been trying out. And it's actually really good. It's very thick. But this is pretty much my breakfast. It had protein powder in it. It's got oatmeal in it, all of that. It's got nut butter, seeds, all of that. So this will pretty much keep me going until lunchtime. And usually I don't like to be super, like I don't want to have like a full breakfast kind of deal before I go out for my walk. So yeah. But yeah, I'm so glad to be back, and some things have definitely changed around here. So here, let's sit and chat for a second before we go out for our walk, and then I'll kind of update you guys on things that have been going on. Okay, so try not to judge the hair. We're gonna leave here, and Husbatron did something really nice. He changed our office into sort of like our sitting room, which is like the best. It's only been like this for a couple of days and I'm loving it. So here, I'll kind of show you guys. Let me kind of flip you guys around and then you can see. So no more office, but now a messy little sitting room. And it's quite nice actually. The only thing, he didn't feel like taking down this calendar that we have here behind the bookcase. And so, yeah, but I really like it. And so I think it's kind of nice. I'll probably show you guys the new office studio situation that we have set up in our living room now. But Husbandron's working out in there, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be on camera. He's lifting. So here, let me sit you guys down. Okay. So now I'm back in my usual spot. So I've been gone for a little while, and the only explanation that I can have for that is that I put down the camera for too long. And I know that that's kind of a weird way to say it. Some of you might understand, but I put down the camera because I had gotten really burnt out. And then it was like, I completely forgot how to do this. And with each week that passed or day that passed that I didn't pick up the camera again, it was becoming more and more apparent that I was forgetting how to do this. And so, I think I just felt, I felt like I didn't know how to do it anymore. I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. And the weird thing is even if you don't stop, like even if you keep going, and almost every time you pick up the camera, it's like picking it up for the first time, because you never really quite get used to recording yourself. Here, I'm gonna take this off because it's doing stuff, but you never really completely get used to it. And so I think that's what happened. I think that I got in my head and I was just like, well, what will I say? And I think I also got really burnt out with cooking on camera because it's so many steps and it takes so much work. And I mean, it even got to the point, like, not even was it that I put the camera down for a little bit, but I also kind of stopped cooking like these elaborate meals. I started to like kind of resent cooking. So Husbandron started to take over a little bit for me when it came to cooking, because I was just like, ugh, I just don't want to look at the kitchen because I was doing so much cooking. And I thought that was kind of a bad sign because I actually really love cooking. That's the whole reason that I do this. And so, yeah, I needed a break, but I'm back and I'm excited to be back. I had put out a survey kind of asking what you guys wanted to see. And of course, like, it was still like the what I eat in a days and kind of what I've been doing to look after myself in my 40s and all that, which I think is kind of cool because this is uncharted territory for me. And I think it'll be a lot similar to how I've been taking care of myself. But there are some things that I have to do now that are that I wasn't mindful of in my 30s. Like your girl needs to gain some muscle because I don't want my bones to be brittle. Like, I don't want to lose my bone density. Like, I feel like that's the main thing that I've been nervous about is my bone health and my, and like my cognitive health, of course, because, I don't know that it runs in my family, but both my grandmothers ended up with dementia, and I don't really know I don't know the cause of that, but I've read a lot about prevention. And so I just want to make sure that this version of me is taking care of future version of me. And so we'll do a lot of that. And so I feel like what you can expect to start seeing, and I hope this isn't too much chatting. I feel like what you can expect to start seeing from me is a little bit more of a wellness sort of vibe, and not in that annoying way where like I'm telling you like certain foods are poison. Like, I don't do that around here. Like, there's a place for certain foods in your diet. I think the only thing, obviously we're plant-based around here, so you won't see animal products here. But I think the only thing that I'm ever kind of like, I'm good on that is like alcohol. And so I like to try like different non-alcoholic drinks. Which is funny because all through my 20s, like, I can count on one hand how many times I had a drink. And even in my 30s, like, I'd have a glass of wine here and there. But for the most part, like social drinking had never become like a part of my life. So it's actually pretty easy for me. And currently it is dry January, and for me, I'm just like, I'm kind of dry all the time. So it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, so I've gotten into this thing where I like trying little tinctures and fun, like non-alcoholic beverages and things like that. So I'll show you one that I've found a little later on with dinner tonight. But yeah, so that's probably the only thing that you'll ever hear me be like, this poison and you shouldn't put it in your body. But besides that, there's a place for every food, for the most part in your diet, and whether it's just in, one day a week, like me, I have donut Fridays. One day a week, I enjoy myself a donut or something like that. But, I'm never really about restriction or anything like that. So you don't need to worry about anything like that. Wellness in general for me is just, caring for yourself. That's at the end of the day, that's it. Caring for yourself, making sure that you're moving, making sure that you're nourishing yourself, and making sure that you're taking care of this and you're taking care of your spirit self. And so making sure that you're taking out time for whatever your spiritual practices are, and making sure that you're doing more than just scrolling for your brain, and that you're taking time to do those types of things. So I'll show you some of the things that I've been doing actually, for that too. But yeah, so right now I'm preparing to go out for a walk. So I'm gonna, pull my hair back and all of that. And I've been using a weighted vest, so you guys will see that. But I'm going to go out for a walk. It is a holiday. It is our MLK holiday, our beloved MLK holiday. And so Husbandtron and I are both off. So he's doing like his kind of pre-walk workout. And then we're going to go for a walk at the lake, which we haven't done in a really long time. We usually just kind of walk around the neighborhood. And yeah, we'll just, do that. So I'm going to finish my smoothie and everything while I wait for him, put on my weighted vest, and then take our walk. And don't worry, I'll take you guys along with me on that. All right, so it is lunchtime. I'm hoping that I got everything. Before I left to go out for my walk, I was trying to show like my weighted vest and everything, and hopefully it caught that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is definitely what I mean when I say that I'm out of practice for sure. So it's lunchtime, and as you guys saw, I've just got my curry chickpea salad, which is kind of like a go-to for me. I think I have it at least once a month. And then I've got like this Egyptian sourdough bread that I found at Trader Joe's, which I like because it's frozen and you just bake it. And so I'm just gonna have it with that and some pickled onions. And because it is lunchtime, I'm going to take my iron as well. Us low iron girlies know that you've gotta make sure you take it. These are the kind that I use. I've been using that brand as long as I've been married, probably before. I've been married for almost 10 years now. And so I was using it, probably about 13 years now I've been using that brand. And I like it because I've never had any like tummy issues. I can have it even on an empty stomach, and I've never had any issues. So doesn't taste the best, but you know, you're just gonna swallow it. So yeah, so my walk was really nice. It did get kind of warm. I will admit it did get super warm. And I had on sunscreen, but I probably should have had like a hat with me or something like that to make things a little bit easier. But yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, like the pillows changed. We went to IKEA. We just randomly decided to go to IKEA after our walk. And since we're changing things around in our apartment, we thought it'd be nice to like spruce things up a little bit, just like small little changes. So we were getting tired of our previous color, which I think you guys have seen. It's like white with little circles on it. And so we got these covers, which I love because I love the color yellow, and you know, the sofa's gray, so it'll go with it just fine. So yeah. So I'm going to have my lunch. I'm going to take a shower because yeah, it got very warm out there. I'm going to take a shower, and I'm probably going to, I don't know, it's my day off. Usually during the week, we don't watch a lot of television. We've been like reading, or we play games with each other or something like that instead. But since it's a holiday, I think I'll probably watch a little bit of TV and then, just try to relax a little bit before it's time for dinner. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do because hair is already taken care of. I had to straighten my hair this morning because wash days are becoming like an Olympic sport where I have to wash and blow dry on one day and then straighten on the next day. And so I straightened this morning before I'm filming. That's why you guys had me with rollers in my hair and stuff. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat lunch, take a shower, and then try to relax a little bit. I might even color because I haven't put my coloring book out in a little while. But if I don't feel like doing that, then yeah, I'm just gonna watch TV and chat with Husbandtron and enjoy him being home too until dinner time. But yeah, all right, guys. Alrighty, so I realized I went to IKEA earlier and I didn't show you guys what I got aside from the cushion covers, which I really like. I think they add a nice pop of color to that room. But I picked up a couple of things for my desk, for my pegboard. I think I showed you guys this earlier, but again, I'm not sure if it was recording. So I'll show you what I got and then I'll show you why I needed some more things. So I got these little like slot containers because I have a lot of like loose items like batteries and stuff. And then I got another tray to go onto the board. And so let's go ahead and pop these open. There you go. So really simple. I'll just throw that over there. There we go. And I don't know if I'm gonna use all three. I really only wanted one or two, but they sell them in a pack of 3. So I had to get them like this, but still, comes in handy. Let's see. That over there. And so these are really helpful because then I can store like my loose items, like my batteries and stuff like that, which I do have here. I have like a bunch of batteries because I need batteries for my keyboard, and I also keep a timer for when I'm trying to like do like writing sprints or like work sprints. So I keep batteries for those types of things. I also have rechargeable batteries. They're all in like Husbandtron's little boxes because he has some too. But I figured I'd keep these ones separate from the rechargeables. All right, nice. So they're a little awkward though. Here, let's show you. So right now, this is the state of my current pegboard. So I think I will put those there. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do with like the others. I get it like right underneath. Let's see. Oh, it's like a 3-er. Oh, okay. And then the third one. I think I'm gonna stick the third one in kind of a random spot just to like get it on there. But it's a little bit better. And then my tray, because I have another tray. Let's move one of these. There we go. And then maybe put a tray like right there. Oh, that's already a little bit better. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's not bad at all. All right. So let's come back. So yeah. So like I said, we did some rearranging and changed our guest room, which we were using as an office, into a TV room, and then changed our living room into nothing but like office and studio space. And it's a little strange. Like when I first came home on, I think it was Friday that Husbandtron did it. Of course, he needed help with like a few things, but he just completely like overhauled and did pretty much all of it by himself. Even though I was like, I'll help you. But I think he's one of those people where once he gets an idea in his head, he just does it, and he doesn't like to like wait on it or sit on it, which is perfectly fine. So yeah. Oh, hopefully that wasn't making like a ton of noise. Sorry, whenever I have like little boxes, I always like to flatten them before I put them. So here, let me show you guys what he did. So try not to mind like the IKEA bag and the mess. So this side of the room is all my space. This right here is my like my desk that I use for shooting my recipes. And so it's a sit stand desk, which is super helpful because I can take it and let's see. Oh, sorry. I can take it and like move it up and down as needed, which is super helpful because sometimes I need to shoot from different angles. And it's just easier to bring it down or bring it up. Of course, this is my regular desk space. I don't know why the camera wants to go that way. My desk space, and then Husbandtron's side of the room is his stuff. He's ordered like some pictures and like some prints to put on his side of the room, which I think will be nice. But all in all, like if we're standing in the kitchen, there's this entire space now because we were starting to kind of be all over each other in the other room. So yeah, so that helped a lot with the space, which, you know, I think that space still worked pretty good. But one of the things that we've been doing is watching a lot less television because we've been doing a lot of our creative work. And so for me, that's developing recipes, doing a lot of writing when I get home from work. And it's really easy to like plop down on the sofa after work, especially if I see him there, and kind of like just tuck in for the evening because you've worked all day. But it's really nice because I think he wanted to make the space like work friendly, to where the first thing I see when I get in the door is my creative space instead of the relaxation space. And, you know, home is for relaxation, but in our case, we have extra things that we're trying to do, including my return here and trying to get as many recipes developed for you guys as possible. And so it's good to like not come home and, you know, be tempted by that, at least in this season. I'm a strong believer in like having balance with your time and not always being like on the grind and everything is hustle. But realistically, there's like seasons for that, right? There's always going to be a season for the work. And that's kind of where I am right now. It's just that. And so, yeah. So I'm gonna make dinner, and actually, I feel like I have to show you guys because, let's see, let's get you guys up. So I'm gonna make dinner, but what I've been doing on Sundays is meal prepping. Let's bring that down. I've been meal prepping, and so food is already made, but I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna have. I've been prepping things for bowls. So let me pull all that out and then I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Bare bones, simple prep. So I prepped some peri-peri tofu. I have some broccoli, some mixed sweet potatoes. So I have orange and white sweet potatoes, and I have some plantain. And I decided instead of like prepping my greens that I would just kind of make them as I go because they cook really fast. So and a sauce. This is like a nice creamy cilantro sauce. It's actually really, really good, especially with the spicy tofu. So I've just been making bowls. Most of the time it's bowls. I feel like it's just really easy to just do a bunch of components, heat it up really quick and put it in a bowl, throw some sauce on top of it, and then it's just like a nice way to like get like a whole meal because I've got my protein, I've got my veggies, I've got my starches, and even, adding in my greens. And I just find that to be the simplest way to do things these days. And so I didn't want it to be anything super boring. So I've just been like playing around with different flavored tofus and different sauces and things like that. So I'll make sure that I link in the description. I'll make sure that I link like how I made everything. A lot of this is kind of simple, like just roasted sweet potatoes and things like that. My relationship with my microwave, it's like hit and miss right now. So what I tend to do, and that's what I'll do in this case, is I'm going to like throw all of this in the skillet and let everything like crisp back up, like my potatoes crisp back up and all of that. My plantain, all of, so it has like the texture that I want, because I feel like when you microwave things, they just get kind of like moist and mushy and I don't want that, and I have the time. So I'm going to toss all of this in the skillet and then build it up in a nice, delicious bowl. So yeah, so that's dinner tonight. And I'm actually really excited because I feel like I tried a little bit of it yesterday and it turned out really, really good. So let's do it. All right, so it's dinner time and I've got this delicious bowl of absolute goodness. So on the bottom there is sautéed kale, and I just sautéed it in some garlic and a little bit of salt. And then there's broccoli and sweet potatoes, a couple of plantains, and then my peri-peri tofu. And then I drizzled on that creamy cilantro sauce, which is really good. And I have my aplos here. This one is the ume spritz, and I've had this one before. It's really good. I have another one. I think I have a Negroni in my fridge, but I really like this one. I'm not ready to try that one yet. So yeah, so let's get that. And then what I like about these is that I guess they're supposed to still have like a calming effect. Let's see here. It says relax and unwind. This cocktail is made with Aplos Ease, our signature non-alcoholic spirit crafted for moments to unwind. Each serving is infused with a proprietary blend of nootropics for a naturally calming and uplifting effect. So it has like lion's mane, magnesium, some theanine. So yeah, it's nice that it has magnesium in it, which is, pretty good. So let's do that last little bit there. And I really enjoy these at the end of the day. That one's good. If you're looking for a nice, like, wind down, non-alcoholic drink, I do recommend the Aplos ones. I've tried some other ones that I didn't really care much for, but I actually really like this one. And it wasn't like, it was on sale. I caught it on sale for like, I think 12 for like 4 of them, which to me is about the same as what you would pay for like a Poppy or what's those other ones, an Olipop. And then it comes with like, you know, the magnesium and all of that. But yeah, so like I said, I've been enjoying having these bowls where it just feels like I'm getting everything that I need. I've got like, you know, my starches, my nice sweet potatoes. I've got veggies, my broccoli and my greens. I usually try to incorporate 2 different veggies. Like last week, what did I have last week? Last week I had more of like a Mediterranean bowl. So kind of like an actual kava bowl that you could get from the restaurant, where I had like, gosh, I can't even remember. I had hummus, I had tofu. What else did I make? I definitely made sweet potatoes. There were greens, all of that. I had some pickled onions. So just like lots of little toppings. That's really good. Yes. I think, if anything, because my peri-peri sauce is kind of like soaked into the tofu, I would probably drizzle just a little bit more of the peri-peri sauce on there. But besides that, it's just a really good bowl of food. Chef's kiss. I'm really thinking about trying to develop like as many of these different bowl variations as possible, and either turning them into like a little like mini e-cookbook or putting them on the blog for you guys. But I don't know. I feel like we're in a time where everyone's so busy that it can be really hard to find ways to like get all of your nutrients. And I mean, you're never going to get all of your nutrients from food. Like, you do the absolute best you can and you'll get really close. But supplementation is there for a reason. And so I like stuff like this because I feel like it's going to give me as much of the nutrients that I'm looking for. And then I'm getting my servings of veggies and my protein, of course, and all of that. I feel like everyone was like hyper protein for a while, and they still kind of are. And now everyone's like hyper fiber. And I feel like as someone who's plant-based, I've never really had a problem getting enough fiber. I also really haven't had any trouble getting enough protein either. At least if I'm like mindful about what it is that I'm putting on my plate, which I think we all should be. And so like I said earlier, as I'm getting older, as I'm, you know, navigating being 40, I want to make sure that I'm doing things for myself that my future self will thank me for. And so that's everything from getting enough rest, getting enough movement. Like, I still like to sit on the floor when I eat. One of the reasons is like, we don't have like a dining room in our home, and we don't necessarily have a dining table, which I'm totally okay with. So I like to sit on the floor, and then I have to get myself up from the floor after I finish eating. So that helps a lot, because I want to be 80 and still be able to like get up off my chair or off the floor. But yeah, just like daily movement. I'm not really looking for like, yeah, I think we all have like weight goals that we work toward. I'm not really super vocal about them because I just feel like everyone's body is different. And I don't personally think that it's healthy for us to always have this number that we're trying to reach. But I feel like there's a body composition and a feeling I would like to reach. And so I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was still like dealing with my fibroids. I still am. And so I've just been trying to support myself in all of that. I am strongly considering a hysterectomy, which, you know, if this is TMI, then, you know, you can skip ahead. But I'm strongly considering a hysterectomy because I've been living with this issue for about 15 years now. And I feel like everything that I've done and a lot of the changes that I've made, I think it helped slow down the progression of their growth. And I think it helped I think it helped to like relieve a lot of the symptoms, but I feel like I can't keep outrunning it, unfortunately. And I feel like I've really done the best I can. I'm still gonna try some more things and kind of see how that goes, but the reality of it is that I may have to get a hysterectomy, and I don't really know how I feel about that, you know? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I have too many feelings about it, but I think it's just the idea of having to get another surgery, and I think that that's just really scary for me. Even though I know that I should be fine, but you know, it's just the thought of it, and you know, all the dramatics of it that you don't always really want to experience. And so that's where I am. But yeah, so I support myself with movement, support myself with nutrition. I try to support my mental health a lot by kind of tuning out a lot of, like, social media is very loud, and I tend to, if I want to like indulge in social media, which I feel like YouTube is but isn't, I'll usually watch YouTube because I can choose what's being put in front of me. I just feel like over the past year, not even the past year, just the past couple of years, social media has just been this whole like dumping ground, and it just throws every and anything in your face, and it's really hard to like protect your peace. And that doesn't mean that I'm not checking the news. Like, yes, I check the news, but I want to be in the right headspace to check the news. Like, if I'm going to open up my news app, or if I'm going to like find a news channel on YouTube or on the television, then I'm choosing that at that moment, right? But first thing in the morning, I don't need something spewed at me about what's going on in the world. And I think that there's a time for it. And so, you know, I often see people who, you know, try to change their social media. I've even tried to like filter out certain words and topics, and it still just doesn't seem to work. And obviously I don't live in a bubble where I'm like, oh, well, I just don't follow the news and I don't follow politics and things like that. Like, no, I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense for me. But I don't want it coming across like, you know, you scroll on social media for fun. I'm not scrolling on social media because I want to see, you know, someone get their life taken away from them in front of my eyes, or, you know, seeing someone getting gunned down in the street. Like, there's just certain things that I don't think should be so easily accessible. I remember like when I was younger, like the news would come on and they would let you know ahead of time, like that there's there's sensitive subject matter, or that, you know, there's a trigger warning, or just that there might be graphic content. And that doesn't seem to happen much on social media. So I've kind of taken this, and I often come home and I throw it on my bed and I walk away from it. And I just try to tune into my life. So like I said, we've been watching less TV, and I think that's kind of nice. And we've been reading, we've been playing games together and things like that, or we're working on our respective businesses when we come home from work. And that's really helped a lot, I think. And I also like to color and do puzzles. I'm thinking about doing color by numbers. I think that might be really nice to do, is color by numbers. But yeah, so I'm just trying to do these things that, like I said, my future self will be happy about later. Like even down to like my self-care. I've been a little bit more mindful about my self-care. Like right now I probably look like a glazed donut because I'm trying like all these different like K-beauty skincare things to try to like, you know, see what works well for my skin and what's going to help preserve me a little bit. Now I know that what's going to preserve me the most is just like nourishing myself and taking care of myself. And skincare is just one of those topical things that you do as a plus. But I definitely believe in taking care of myself from the inside out. And so, yeah, so things like that. And even, you know, getting the finances together, all of that, especially with us working on moving abroad. We really have to make sure that all of that stuff is to the T. And so I read books about that and listen to podcasts. Obviously every moment of the day isn't about trying to make yourself better. And I think that's sometimes the trap that we fall into at the beginning of the year. And it can be really easy to be like, you know, new year, new me. But the reality of it is that, one, it's the middle of winter, so it's kind of a tough time to like make these like drastic changes. But also, like, we don't change overnight. And so, like, for example, this month with my movement, I'm just focusing on getting lots of steps, right? So I take extra walks at my job, when I take my breaks, when I come home, like immediately once I hit the door, we go out for a walk and then we come back and work on things. And on the weekends, just getting out for an hour or two and taking a walk, like today, getting out into the sunlight and walking. And then next month, then I may add something else. I'm thinking of taking mat Pilates. I'm a little nervous about that because it looks really strenuous, but I'm excited. And so like adding these little things along the way, and not doing everything all at one time where it's like, I'm going to eat healthier, and I'm going to exercise, and I'm going to do all of these things. And I notice a lot of things are always health related, but you know, it's just one step at a time, whether it's adding an extra serving of vegetables to your bowl or to your plate, or making sure that instead of, you know, maybe something that's not so great for you, you pick up a fruit that you really enjoy, like chop up a fruit and enjoy it with like some chile or something like that. I don't know, but just something, but without feeling like you just have to change yourself in this immediate moment. And, you know, after being on this earth long enough, you start realizing like, hey, like you end up kind of being very similar by the end of the year. Like, yeah, you're going to accomplish goals and things like that. But all this trying to change overnight stuff, it's for the birds. Slow changes, slow, sustainable changes will help you. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. I know I didn't do a lot of on-camera cooking, and that is because I'm kind of easing back into this whole thing. I wanted to take down the barrier to entry of coming back. And I think sometimes because there is a lot of angles and all of that stuff for me to do and moving my camera around, sometimes it can feel a little arduous. And so I didn't want to create that like resistance for myself. I wanted to be able to turn on the camera, show you guys what I'm eating, show you a little bit of my day, and chat with you guys and let you know that I am still here. And like I said, it's likely that you'll see me once a month-ish, but as time starts to permit, then I will be on here a lot more. And so I also really wanted to mention, like, there's some of you who emailed me personally to check on me, and I can't tell you how much that really like touched me. There was one where I opened and I just about almost cried, and I was like, you gotta go back. Like, like you gotta go back. And you guys know who you are. You know who you are. I don't want to like, say names and then, for your privacy, but I really appreciate the emails and the kind messages, just checking in on me and everything. And I am fine, of course. I just really needed to breathe. I don't think people understand how much work goes into having like a sustainable YouTube channel where you're posting like weekly, where it's everything from the filming to the editing, making sure that, especially for recipes, that I have all of that information for you guys. And, I like to do it, but along with working like a full-time job and then also trying to make sure that I don't neglect my website, I think I found myself kind of drowning a little bit. And then on top of it, it was like every weekend was filming, and it was Husbatron and I filming and editing and filming and editing, along with even like our personal things that we have going on in our lives. And I think it just got to be a lot for me personally. And I know it got to be a lot for him too. And I found that it felt like we weren't spending time together unless we were working on this. And though these are good problems, I'm not complaining or anything like that. I think it was just hard to find a balance in all of that. So, but I would never complain about how awesome my community is here. You guys are the absolute best. And if you stuck with me this long and you stuck with me all the way to the end of the video, if you stuck with me in this break, then I just want you to understand how much I absolutely appreciate you in this season of my life. And yeah, it can feel weird. Like, it's like I'm 40 and I'm on YouTube, and and what I'm learning is, like, obviously, like, there's no age limit to a lot of this stuff. You bring your value, and you try to add and give as much to people as you possibly can, no matter who you are. And like I said, I just wanted to show up for you today, and keep things light and keep things simple. And don't worry, like, the more I do this, the more layered, and we'll be back to angles, and we'll be back to all that fun stuff soon. But like I said, I wanted to make it easy to come back to you guys today, and I think it worked out pretty good. And hopefully it wasn't, just like mundane or too boring or anything like that. But I feel good knowing that I did this again, and that I was afraid for no reason. I think that's the crazy part, is having been gone so long, feeling like I couldn't do it. So my food is cold now, and so I'm going to have my dinner. I'm going to enjoy my little non-alcoholic drink, and I'm hoping that all of you enjoy the rest of January and enjoy the rest of this year. I really hope that whatever goals that you guys are setting for yourselves, that you reach them. I'm going to be having some fun on here and kind of showing you some of the goals that I'm trying to reach to, and sharing a little bit more of that with you alongside the food. And I think you guys might enjoy that with me. But yeah, so I don't want to babble too much, but as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I really, really appreciate you for being here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.